Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I am very excited because I just got my new 3D printer. It is exciting because I've never had one before. I'm really excited to get it put together. It is the Ender 3. Wanted to go with something basic and learn about 3D printers before I invested a ton of money into them. So I'm going to put it together and hopefully get it printing here in the next hour or so. I've heard it takes about an hour and a half to put it together and get it up and running. I've never done anything with 3D printing, so this is going to be exciting, and we'll see how long it takes. As I mentioned, I have exactly zero experience with 3D printers, so I did a lot of research trying to figure out what would be the best printer for me to start with and what I needed to learn to get going. I do have some experience with CAD and 3D modeling from back when I was in school, but it's been a long time since then. The printer that I ended up choosing obviously was the Creality Ender 3. I took a look at a lot of the printers that are out there, especially in the lower budget range, and the Ender 3 just came out on top. It has tons of great reviews. The print quality is supposed to be excellent, and pretty much the only downside to it is that the print size is a little bit smaller as far as the height that you can print to, versus some of the printers that were a few $100s more. So I decided for a little over $200, I can get an Ender 3, and that should get me going with most of the stuff that I'm looking at doing, which is mostly going to be smaller parts or just little things that I'm prototyping or have ideas for. So I'm not really planning on building anything that has a huge volume. As far as the assembly went, it was very easy. If you're good at building Legos, you're not going to have any trouble putting together this 3D printer. The biggest challenge for me was matching up the bolt sizes to the instructions. It is a little confusing trying to figure out which of the screws they're talking about, but if you go back to the sizing chart, you can kind of figure it out. And I did have a ton of leftover parts at the end, so that was a little concerning, but I'm pretty sure those are all extras. I haven't had any issues so far. The other thing that did confuse me a little bit on the build was that the instructions don't always go in sequential order like you think they do. Just make sure to pay attention to the numbers on the instructions and you'll be good. If you're looking at getting into 3D printing, I would definitely recommend it. If you haven't heard of the site Thingiverse, basically a site where people upload different STL files, which is what you need to be able to 3D print something. And you can go on there and find tons of different stuff that people have shared. Most of them you can get for free and print, and so it's pretty cool to be able to go on there and just find a bunch of stuff right away that you want to print and be able to send those over to your printer pretty easily and right away have a bunch of cool stuff that you can mess with. You'll see I'm using this paper to level the bed. Just making sure that all four corners are level. That's really important when you're doing a 3D print. So you just kind of use the paper to feel when the nozzle's about the same distance from the platform on all four corners. So here I am warming up the printer and getting it ready to put in the filament. You'll see the test filament there. I did hear from several different reviews that test filament is not actually enough to print the test dog that comes on the card that they send in. So I started printing that, and after a little bit I was like, well, I don't want to print half of this dog, and so I canceled that print and found a different test print that I ended up doing. Here's where I'm printing the test print that I found on Thingiverse. I'll put a link to that. I did shrink it down because I didn't think I'd have enough filament, and at this point I hadn't received the PLA that I had ordered on Amazon as well. So I didn't want to run out of filament and ended up shrinking this down to I think about half size. So it didn't really work as well for what it's meant for. Obviously the test print is sized for certain things, so I checked the angles, but everything else came out really small and isn't really accurate for the printer because it printed way too small. So since those first few prints, I have been going crazy on this thing. I've printed a ton of modification parts for the printer itself, and I'll do another video on that, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Let me know what you think about my choice of the Ender 3 as a good budget printer. It cost me about $300 all said and done to buy the printer on Amazon, the filament, and a few different nozzles and upgrade parts that I thought would be nice to have. Then as far as the software, I'm using Fusion 360 for modeling and Cura for slicing and preparing to print, and both of those are available for free. You can check the description for links to everything that I bought, or let me know if you have any suggestions for things that I should do to upgrade or purchase for my printer. Be sure to like the video and let me know what you think in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be updated when new videos come out of prints that I'm doing or other projects that I have going on. Thanks for watching.